Kia ora, good evening. Close to 4,000 patients have had mammogram images lost by the Southern District Health Board over a 9-month period in 2012. The Southern DHB issued an apology today for an IT failure that resulted in the loss of mammogram images taken between the 1st of February and 31st of October 2012. The images were lost due to an incorrectly configured server which failed to back up copies of the images, affecting 3,850 people. Chief Executive Officer Carol Heatley is assuring patients there's no change in the outcome from the mammography pictures, with images having been read, reported and retained in clinical files. Anyone who needs more information is encouraged to ring 0800 214 579. Southland businesses involved or interested in the Christchurch rebuild were invited to a progress update in Invercargill today. The Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Unit, or CERA, along with the Ministry of Business Innovation and Employment, the Canterbury Employers Chamber of Commerce and the Canterbury Development Corporation, were in the city to brief interested parties on development in the Christchurch rebuild.
So we're down here because we've had quite a bit of interest shown by local firms and investors to know what's happening in Christchurch, and so thought they'd take the opportunity to come down, explain how we see the rebuild, where we are in the cycle of the rebuild. We're also looking at potential investors in Christchurch. There's a lot of opportunity for Southland capital to invest and reinvest in Christchurch. We know there's already a lot of Southland capital in Christchurch now, and also the construction industry. It's a very large rebuild. It's a $40 billion rebuild, and so we're looking to make sure that the South Island and Southland, today's event, gets a wide exposure to what's on offer and can understand how those firms can be involved.
Obviously we don't want to lose too many of our tradespeople and that sort of thing, but you're talking about more using business infrastructure down here. That's
right. So it's not just about, hey, want a Southland business to relocate to Christchurch. It's not about that. It's about that business either expanding into Christchurch if they're not there already, or perhaps even if it's a construction firm doing the work in Southland and having that work shipped to Christchurch, or in the design area. Obviously, with the age of the internet and the electronic devices and software that's available, people can do design work here, whether it's for housing, commercial building, and again be involved in the rebuild through that technology.
The earthquakes both were tragedies, but there is room for positives out of it with the reconstruction.
Look, there's no doubt that the tragedy of the earthquakes was well known by all, and this is one of the silver linings for it, that in the rebuild, that the whole of South Island and all of New Zealand can participate in the rebuild and get some of the benefit from a tragedy.
You're getting your way all around New Zealand with these seminars or workshops. What's next after that?
So what we've got 2 or 3 weeks of going around the regions and the cities of New Zealand, and then the Ministry for Business Innovation and Employment, they're holding a get to know the buyer session on the 10th of April in Christchurch. So if firms or businesses or individuals want to be introduced to potential buyers and show their wares, then that's a really great time to go up and do that on the 10th of April.
You likened it to speed dating.
Yeah, I did in our conversation. Absolutely. It's a bit like having a dance card or a speed date card, and MV and ourselves at CERA will help the potential purchasers identify the businesses they ought to have a chat to and understand their products and services, and so that when people come to that, they know who they're going to meet with, and it'll be a very informative and beneficial day because of that.
New Zealand women gave birth to less babies in 2013 compared to the previous year. The number of births dropped in most regions in 2013, with 58,717 live births registered for the year, a drop of over 2,400 or 4%. The trend for older childbearing continues, with first-time mums aged 35 to 39 years bearing more babies than women aged 20 to 24 having their first child. Deaths also decreased slightly in 2013, down 531 for the year, or 2% on 2012 figures, to 29,568. There were 44 less births in Southland region compared to 2012 and 3 less deaths last. Fundraising is already well underway for next month's Relay for Life at Rugby Park. 3 weeks ago, Rugby Park groundsman Russell Thomas went purple and began renting his time and services to local businesses. The proceeds of his labours and donations collected will be used to boost the Relay for Life coffers. Mr Thomas was today helping out with promotional work at Men's Wear store McKnight and Brown and expects to appear at a business near you in the lead up to the relay itself on March 1st at Rugby Park. Mr Thomas is full of praise for the generosity of both the Southern business community and the public.
We look like students.
Yeah. Oh, it's been absolutely fabulous, you know, like the response from people to give us the work to do on a daily basis has been absolutely great. Today I'm here at McKnight and Brown, and tomorrow we're at Bed Bath and Beyond. Friday we're at Fred and Ginger's again. And while I'm at these premises, people are giving me money off the street, and it's kind of exciting to know that 50 cents that people have got in their wallet, they're putting into our little container here, and every 50 cents counts. So I don't mind how much money we make, as long as people are contributing and knowing what the cause is all about. So it's a good response, I think.
And what sort of work have you been doing?
Well, yesterday I was cleaning car windows and just helping groom a car, and today I'm going to be handing out these leaf flyers for people for specials, etc. And tomorrow I get to lay in a bed in the front window, I think, for 2 hours, just looking at the scenery of people wandering backwards and forwards. So, and as far as I know, at Fred and Ginger's, I'll be probably just handing out some cupcakes maybe. So, not too strenuous at this stage of the game because of the hip operation, but I'm getting by quite nicely now.
Yeah,
so.
it's just a couple of weeks ago, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago today, and I'm excited for the fact that I'm moving about a lot better, pain free, and still being able to contribute to the Relay for Life.
Can't keep a good man down. Coming up after the break, the local play Too Far From Heaven takes on a national tour. Welcome back. Day 3 of the Southern Institute of Technology's Orientation Week is underway. At lunchtime today at SIT's Tay Street campus, the South's newest student talent took to the microphone in the next heat of the SIT's Got Talent competition, while others joined in the Jaffa Suck Up and Tape Up Your Mate. Several sponsors' tents were kept busy with free barbecue food. Also present the Red Frogs offering free O-Wheat pancakes. And to work off the extra carbs, students showed off their coordination skills with a Zumba workout. In what is thought to be a first for Southland, a locally written and produced play performed by a local trio and featuring historical local characters is embarking on a national tour, although it's already been performed in Europe. The hour-long Southern production Too Far From Heaven has been selected as the Arts on Tour March offering to perform around New Zealand. The play follows the last night before the respective executions of historical figures Winton baby farmer Minnie Dean and World War I deserter Victor Spencer of Bluff.
There's the story of Minnie Dean, who is the infamous baby farmer, the only woman executed or hanged in New Zealand, and the story of Victor Spencer, the young lad from Bluff who was shot during the Great War for desertion. So yeah, it doesn't get more local than that, and that's what really appealed to us when we were coming up with ideas for stories. We wanted to take to the world fully Southland stories, and the fact that we are all from here and collaborated to write the story. Yes, I guess you're right, it is 100% local.
Inver's theatre trio Angela Newell, Jade Gillies and Lizzie Dawson wrote their respective roles. Dawson drawing dialogue from Minnie's writings on her last night and Gillies tapping into Victor through his court-martial statement and last words.
Well, one of the things that we tried to do when we took it to Edinburgh was to make the play as universal as possible. So the story of baby farming is not specific to New Zealand. People from around the world can relate to that, or at least know of the history of it, and also the Great War obviously is a universal story, and the number of soldiers who were executed for desertion during the Great War is horrendous. So it wasn't difficult to make it universal.
I always carried it. I put the baby inside and I padlocked it shut.
They've become close to their characters. Not only have they visited their graves, but families of both Minnie and Victor have seen the play, which is now on its third version. Gillies says 20 performances over a 25-day period will be both intense and challenging.
The play itself is quite tiring for us, having to go through that trauma of being executed night after night and then having to travel in between is going to be exhausting.
Just want some bloody sleep. In a bed. A nice warm bed. A decent meal.
In some ways, being tired actually helps with this performance. It helps to bring on the emotion and the tears, because that's another key thing in terms of the performance.
The plot that blends intriguing New Zealand history and heritage is proving a timeless work.
To be honest, this particular play we didn't expect to last as long as it has, which is fine. I mean, it's great that we're actually able to now take it to the country and be paid for it. But for the last 18 months, in between rehearsing and rewriting all that, there have been other ideas floating around, but I don't want to give too much away.
After performing at the Edinburgh Film Festival in 2012 and the New Zealand Film Festival last year, it's hoped there's more success to come for Inver's Theatre. Margot Sutherland, South Today News. Southern Institute of Technology nursing graduates are finding employment at a rate significantly higher than the national average. 75% of 2013 SIT Bachelor of Nursing graduates and 100% of Diploma in Enrolled Nursing graduates have secured employment respectively. The national average for Bachelor students is 52%. SIT Nursing Program Manager Sally Dobbs says 45 Bachelor of Nursing students sat state finals in 2013. Currently 34 of these students have secured employment as registered nurses. 17 graduates have found employment within the Southland region and the rest are located throughout New Zealand. Ms Dobbs says no graduate has moved to Australia. In 2012, 87% of SIT graduates were in employment by March 2013. Favourable lake levels have helped newly NZX-listed Meridian Energy beat its forecast earnings today, announcing a net profit of $116.9 million for the 6 months to December 2013. Meridian's Chief Executive Mark Binns said earnings figures were very pleasing and above-average hydrology conditions in Meridian's catchments contributed consistently to a high generation market share of 36% on average over the 6-month period. Earnings before interest and taxation, depreciation and amortisation and fair value adjustments was $268.2 million. Meridian intends to pay an interim dividend of $4.19 per share on the 15th of April. And sport is up next, the second part of the interview with New Stags coach Brad Moore along with Tom. From the news team though, it's good night.